Now on CoastTV News.
Sea level rise in Milton, the recommendations to help prepare for the future.
People enjoying the boardwalk at Bethany Beach, but the mayor says a hold on a Back Bay study could hurt this way of life. Cleaning up graffiti from protests at the White House, the latest from the war fueling hate crimes here at home. Presidential history in Cambridge, what's underneath that big white tarp?
The swing in temps this week will be so dramatic that you may have to turn on the heat and the air conditioner in the same week.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Preparing for rising waters in Milton. Good evening, I'm Mallory Metzner. Welcome to our news at 11. We begin tonight with Milton's Town Council looking ahead to prepare for sea level rise. Town Council reviewed a report that reveals how Milton may be impacted by rising waters and what can be done to keep the town safe. Coast TV News reporter Charles Reinert shows us what could be in store in the tiny town.
Bracing for higher waters along the Broadkill River. Milton Town Council reviewed a report that looked at how sea level may impact the town in the future. The report was done by an engineering firm called Pinoni, which looked at how more flooding would impact infrastructure, Milton's roads, and more.
We are seeing sea level rise here in Delaware. It's not just on a global scale, but it's affecting everyone along the coast.
According to Pinoni, the sea level could rise by a little over a foot by 2050. The report named multiple locations near the Broadkill River that could be at risk in the future, including the Magnolia Street parking lot, the Milton Public Library, and the Milton Theater. J.P. LeCap with the theater says sea level rise is something that is thought about often.
We know that the theater is in like a future flood zone. We've not had any issues in the past few years, thankfully, but it's definitely a concern that we would like to prepare for.
There were some recommendations made to Town Council to prepare Milton for the risk of flooding, including shoreline restoration at Memorial Park and heavier sea level rise monitoring in Milton.
Now, this report was accepted by the Town Council, but there was consensus that there is still a lot of work to be done to prepare for the future. I'm Charles Reinert in Milton, Coast TV News.
Taking a live look outside into our Hershey Exteriors camera at the 45th Street Tap House there in Ocean City. It's a cool November night, weather that makes sense for this time of year. Our First Alert Chief Meteorologist Paul Williams joins us now with a look at our forecast. Good evening, Paul.
Well, good evening, Mallory. Funny you should use that phrase, makes sense, for this time of the year, you say, right? Right. Well, this long, the 7-day forecast is not going to make sense to you at all. Just roll with the punches is all I can kind of say. But first of all, right now, where are we currently? In Rehoboth right now, we're holding at a nice steady 59 degrees right now. And as far as our expectations for the rest of the night, we will see increasing cloud cover. But because of the cloud cover, we are only going to stay in the 50s for later on tonight. So we're not expecting the temperatures to oscillate one way or the other too much at this present time. But coming up, the long-range forecast is going to be so crazy. Like I said at the beginning of the newscast, we're literally going to seem like we're going to go from season to season, from day to day. So we're going to cover spring, fall, and winter with the extended forecast. So that's why I don't need you to go anywhere. Back to you, Mallory.
Thank you, Paul. The next town to discuss marijuana is South Bethany. It's having its second marijuana meeting this week. The town says it will readdress recreational marijuana business and sale ban ordinance. At its last meeting, no action was taken and no public comment was held. The next meeting is taking place on November 9th at 9 a.m. A study which addresses coastal storm risk is now on hold. The Delaware Back Bay study was being conducted by DENREC and the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. According to the Army Corps, the study is too expensive and technically challenging to continue. People in Bethany Beach say flooding impacts everyday life.
It happens all the time, and honestly, it deviates, people getting into their homes, people getting into their businesses. Just like normal flow of traffic, like half a town of Bethany will be closed off, blocked off, and you can't even get to anywhere.
The agencies conducting the study say a pause will help reevaluate the best course of action forward. The Army Corps and DENREC may pursue joint funding opportunities. In the meantime, Bethany Beach says it is asking people to send their feedback, asking for the study to happen. New tonight, buildings in Maryland are lighting up green this week as the Maryland Department of Veterans Affairs joins the National Association of Counties for Operation Greenlight. Homeowners are invited to light up their porches green too. Governor Wes Moore says every day this week, state benefits for service members and veterans will be spotlighted across the state.
Operation Greenlight provides governments, businesses, organizations, and everyday folks the opportunity to learn more about military culture, about suicide prevention, and to learn from veterans about their service and their transition from the military to civilian culture.
Operation Greenlight runs through this Sunday, November 12th.
Madeline Overturf, here's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. This Tuesday, Sussex County Council may make its decision regarding a controversial development in Oak Orchard. The 57-acre, 120-home development was originally denied by Sussex County Planning and Zoning Commission back in June, but the developer's attorney appealed to the council 2 weeks ago. Presidential history has docked in Cambridge. The Sequoia, a yacht used by U.S. presidents from 1933 to 1977, will be docked in Cambridge at the Richardson Maritime Museum for restoration. Central Avenue and Laurel will be closed between Market Street and Front Street beginning on Thursday, November 16th for sinkhole repair. Work will go on until Friday, January 5th. That's a look at just some of the things happening across Delmarva. I'm Madeline Overturf.
Israel's military is advancing toward Gaza City and cutting off all communication. The death toll in Israel and Hamas continues to rise. Meanwhile, the turmoil between the two is triggering a rise in hate crimes across the United States. Since Hamas first attacked Israel on October 7th, there has been a surge in crimes against Jews and Muslims. Jen Sullivan has the latest on the war and what's being done to defuse escalating tensions here at home.
At night, the skies over Gaza City light up from rockets. The city shaken by explosions before plunging into darkness. That's because weeks ago, Israel shut off all electricity to Gaza, including places like hospitals.
You see scenes of absolute carnage. There are patients on the floors.
Since Sunday, the Israel army says it struck 450 Hamas targets. The number of Palestinians killed has now surpassed 10,000, according to the Hamas-controlled health ministry, and at least 1,400 Israelis have been killed. There's mounting global pressure for a humanitarian ceasefire, but Israel will not relent. Meanwhile, the deadly turmoil between Israel and Hamas is triggering a rise in hate crimes here at home. Since the October 7th attack by Hamas, anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. are up 388%, and Muslims are also being targeted.
Whether you're Arab or Muslim or Jewish, people are feeling very raw.
California on Friday at Stanford University, an Arab Muslim student was hurt in a hit and run.
It's scary that this kind of hate can happen in a place where I'm supposed to feel at home.
That student, Abdul Wahab Omira, now releasing a statement saying, "As I lie in my hospital bed grappling with a reality I had never imagined, I reflect on the importance of spreading love, kindness, and compassion in a world that seems to be steadily succumbing to hatred and prejudice." A preliminary investigation by the California Highway Patrol determining that incident was a hate crime. I'm Jen Sullivan reporting.
Crews work to clean up vandalized gates at the White House following a weekend of protests. Although the protests over the weekend were mostly peaceful, some pro-Palestinian attendees opted to damage buildings and vandalize the White House. Protesters laced statues and gates with anti-Semitic graffiti as they marched toward the White House demanding a ceasefire in Gaza. Some even tried the White House to climb the gate. Former President Trump is calling for his civil fraud trial in New York to be dismissed. After a contentious day on the stand, former President Trump can be seen here departing the Manhattan courtroom. Trump continues to call the lawsuit an act of politically motivated election interference. Meanwhile, Attorney General bringing the suit, Letitia James, says that the evidence is on her side.
The numbers don't lie, and Mr. Trump obviously can engage in all of these distractions, and that exactly what he did, what he committed on the stand today, engaging in distractions and engaging in name calling. But I will not be bullied. I will not be harassed. This case will go on.
The judge in the case has already found that Trump fraudulently overvalued his assets. The court is now working to determine what, if any, penalty the former president must pay. New polling from the New York Times and Siena College shows President Biden falling behind former President Trump in some key swing states. The president trailing Trump in 5 of the 6 battleground states that helped him win the election in 2020. Biden is behind in Nevada, Georgia, Arizona, Michigan, and Pennsylvania, and only ahead in Wisconsin. Trump's ongoing criminal cases may be a major factor, though. The poll found roughly 6% of voters across Arizona, Georgia, Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin would switch from Trump to Biden if Trump is convicted. That's a big enough swing to ensure Biden's re-election. And that brings us to our Coast TV poll. We want to know if you think that President Biden will be reelected. Let's take a look at the updated results here on your screen. 46% say yes, 53% say no, 1% think it's too early to tell. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttvnews.com or on our mobile app. We have a lot more ahead on Coast TV News at 11. Road closed, the months-long detours on Plantation Road in Lewis, and the headache it's already causing.
Well, today might have felt a little cooler than usual, but actually it was close to the norm for this time of the year. But guess what? We're going to have a day this week where it's going to be a spring day, followed by a fall day, followed by a summer-like one. Stick around for the full forecast. You got to hear this one.
But first, water on the roadway, the vote that took place tonight, and why the town of Milton wants DelDOT to install this sign. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
Beyond Zero is Toyota's vision to reach beyond carbon neutrality with our products, services, and operations. Today, we empower you to choose how to reduce your own carbon footprint. With an electrified, diversified lineup of hybrids, plug-in hybrids, and battery EVs. Get an all-electric BZ4X with a special APR. Toyota, let's go places.
You know, Brian, the best thing about living in Maryland and Delaware is that we can use our decks year-round.
And Nikki, Paul Davis still has time to install 10 more decks before Christmas.
Sign me up. Paul Davis's AZEK decks are the best. They don't fade or crack, even in the winter.
Our customers love our decks, and our crews are ready to install your deck so you can enjoy the holidays. Call now for your free estimate, and we'll include a fire pit free with your new deck.
Now that is a good holiday.
Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. We are the difference makers.
This is Coast TV News at 11.
The town of Milton is asking DelDOT to install a water on the roadway sign on Cave Neck Road near Front Street for use by town staff when there is flooding on Front Street and Union Street. New tonight, the town council made a motion to approve this and enter a right-of-way agreement with DelDOT to allow the town to use it on the state-run road. We spoke to one person who says how beneficial this would be.
With a sign being up there a lot further before they get this far, that would be really convenient for everyone. You know, less traffic and less being lost.
The 6-month closure of Plantation Road in Lewis began today. The dreaded closure is part of the larger 5 Points project. DelDOT says Plantation Road will be closed from Shady Road to just west of Salt Marsh Boulevard, including access to the Route 9 intersection. Detours to reach the other end of Plantation Road, Route 9 and Route 1 will take drivers on more local roadways. DelDOT says this closure will allow for the finishing touches to the roundabout.
Well, you know what? Round about this time of the year, we're expecting for temperatures to stay in the 60s for the highs and 40s for the lows, but this week is going to be topsy-turvy at best. Now, this is a good illustration of how this week is going to go. You notice 24 hours ago, we were cooler in Georgetown, but now we're 9 degrees warmer than we were 24 hours ago in Salisbury and 16 degrees warmer in Ocean City. So think about it. We're cooler here, but much warmer here. And we're not really looking at that big of a distance between those two places. It's just going to be crazy with temperatures, period. So let's go ahead and go on this roller coaster ride. Temperatures right now in the 50s, and we're on the mild side right now. And with the increasing cloud cover, that's going to help us to stay mild for the rest of the night. Now, as you take a look at our live radar and satellite depiction of what's going on, we stay relatively clear. Now, all this pink you see here, that is indeed highlighting the fact that we have a small craft advisory, so the winds are a little bit on the breezy side along the shore at about 15 to 20, 25 mile per hour wind gusts. So you got to be mindful of that. Aside from that, we have a trough that's pushing its way in our general direction, but any kind of real rain and all that other kind of stuff is way over here in the Ohio Valley region, really not an immediate threat for us. Now, think about this. Over the last, let's say, 3 to 4 days, we've had temperatures well above the norm for this time of the year, because 62 is the norm. So we've had 69, 72, 65. So we've been on the high side, but then we're going to go lower than that, higher, and then go really low, then go to freezing. You see, we feel like the 40s right now, okay? Now, it all depends on where the wind's coming from. The winds are out of the southwest for tomorrow morning, so we start off at 55. We end up in the 70s, all right? Wednesday, the winds are coming out of the north. So now we start off in the 40s, and we end up only in the mid-50s. Then it gets really crazy after that, okay? Thursday, the winds come back out of the south again, and as early as 11 o'clock, we're back into the 70s, approaching the mid-70s by then. Now, if you're going to rake your leaves, and actually I had someone say, give me that raking forecast one more time because they're going to watch it late tonight. So by special request, I'm showing this again. Listen, we're not looking at any rain, but the ground's going to be a little chilly for us by the time you get to Thursday. We're expecting for it to go from 68 to 60 to 68 and Assateague for the next 3 days along the shore. Now, watch this. From 73 to 59 to 71, South Bethany. You see how these temperatures are ping-ponging around? From 73 to 60, back to 75 in Cape Henlopen over the next 3 days. Then on Friday, we're looking for a slice of rain, a pretty decent slice of rain to pull our way, but the latest model run is showing it's going to lean a little bit more to our south. So we're even looking at that saying iffy. Even the rain is not going to act right. Here's what we're talking about. This is the craziness of the forecast, okay? 75, 61, 76, 55 with rain. 55, 53, but look at these morning temperatures. In the 30s, freezing by the weekend and next Monday.
A roller coaster of temperatures indeed, Paul. More Americans working multiple jobs, the findings from the latest jobs report. Holiday Helping, 'tis the season to give back to those who are hungry, where you can donate on Delmarva.
Hello, family. I heard we need to discuss our water.
Dad, the neighbors didn't say we needed to discuss our water. They said our water is disgusting.
Be sure about your water quality with a free water analysis from Shore Water Refining.
Gateway Subaru is committed to providing the best car buying experience on the shore, and now is a great time to own a new Subaru. Our team of friendly, knowledgeable professionals are here to assist you every step of the way. And with an amazing inventory of the latest Subaru models, we'll help you find the Subaru that suits your lifestyle and fits your budget. And right now, take advantage of financing rates as low as 0% on select models. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Gateway Subaru. Higher standards.
At Chesapeake Home Services, we take the risk so you don't have to. Trust our team with the sale and installation of your new heating and air conditioning system, and if you're not satisfied for any reason within the first year and we can't fix it, we'll buy it back. At Chesapeake, we make sure you get the best affordable price to include flexible financing options with payments as low as $95 a month. When it's time for a new HVAC system, take the safest road out there. Chesapeake Home Services, we always go the extra mile.
Service sure to make you smile. They always go the extra mile.
It is important to have a supportive employer in your corner, a company that offers on-site health care to save you time and money. That's right, access to a doctor's office while at work at no cost to you. Work schedules to fit your lifestyle, matched 401k to prepare you for retirement, paid vacation, and more. A company that you can count on and grow with. A company that you can have a career with. An employer like Amick Farms. Visit countonamick.com to apply today.
Frustrated about your awful water? Don't be. Call Shore Water Refining. Be sure about your water quality with a free water analysis from Shore Water Refining.
Today, DART began its Stuff the Bus event. The Food Bank of Delaware held its first drive-through pantry for the holiday season. The DART event will collect donations that will help fill shelves at local pantries, including the food bank. According to the Food Bank of Delaware, the mobile pantry alone distributed enough food for 1,500 households. About 60 volunteers are needed to hand out 3 truckfuls of groceries. It's a resource that becomes even more necessary during the holidays.
We got a turkey, which is great because that's always one of the hardest to get. It's hard for a lot of people to be able to afford everything that they need. So this really does help out a lot.
Donations for Stuff the Bus will be collected tomorrow at the Milford Walmart from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And the food bank will next host its first ever high stakes harvest later this month to showcase local foods. The event will be held on Tuesday, November 28th from 5:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Bones Restaurant and Lounge at the Harrington Raceway and Casino in Harrington. Proceeds from the evening will benefit the building of the new food bank facility in Milford. The town of Millville is planning to work with the Food Bank of Delaware to host a holiday food drive. The town says items that are needed are stuffing mix, canned fruit and vegetables, instant potatoes, cranberry sauce, and more. There is a donation box inside Town Hall to drop off non-perishable food. The drive will start on November 13th and go through December 8th. A growing number of Americans are working multiple jobs. That's according to the October jobs report from the Labor Department. Patrick Cornell has what experts say is behind the federal data and who is leading that trend.
Juggling multiple gigs. The latest jobs report from the Labor Department shows nearly 8.4 million people had multiple jobs in October. That's the highest number since the start of the pandemic. And women appear to be leading that trend. The federal data shows nearly 6% of women worked multiple jobs in October. That's compared to 4.7% of men.
Our cost of living has almost tripled since 2020.
Experts say people may be taking on additional jobs to offset high inflation, which has been easing but is still painfully high for some households. Nonprofits like the United Way say inflation is outpacing wage growth, and that's making it harder for them to help families.
Wages do not reflect how important they are to everyday living.
Remote work is also offering more flexibility and opportunities for workers to manage several jobs from home. And there's also fear that layoffs could have people looking for supplemental jobs, but one economist says layoffs are actually historically low right now.
Companies are reluctant to lose their workers, and they're willing to negotiate even higher salaries to keep them. U.S.
employers added only 150,000 jobs last month. That's the smallest gain since June, signaling the economy is slowing and signaling that the Federal Reserve's action to tame inflation may be working.
The question is, how quickly is it working? We're still far from the 2% target, but inflation has come down quite a bit.
For Consumer Watch, I'm Patrick Cornell reporting.
Coming up in sports, which teams are gearing up for the Delaware D1 Field Hockey State Semifinals? And next, building for the future, how the Millsboro Police Department says it plans to use its new station to achieve its goals for the town.
JoJo's in Salisbury serves fresh, homemade food in an upscale, family-friendly atmosphere. Enjoy delicious crab dishes like our colossal lump crab cakes or our creamy crab dip served in a fresh baked bread bowl and the best cream of crab soup in town. Try the new Pineapple Blast or wind down with our wine selection, beer on tap, and other cocktails. Have an event? Reserve your private suite or banquet room today. JoJo's Family Restaurant, where family dines together and dinner tastes better.
Life is a commitment, a beautiful journey that teaches us all that just when you think you've got it made, you've got another thing coming. To which we say, bring it on. You've got a heart that needs a hand. We've got hands committed to saving hundreds of hearts each year. You want your life back? We've got your back, and your hips, and your knees. You're facing a monster? We've got heroes. Life gets off to a rough start? We've got this, and this, and this. You have fear? We have hope. You're facing a storm? Hey, storm, is that all you got? Because we've got more. More ways to help, more ways to provide hope, more ways to prove our commitment to you. And that commitment, well, it runs deep.
Most new Delaware homeowners never had a crawl space and might not know about sump pumps or dehumidifiers. Your sump pump may be old, and do you know how or if it operates? And dehumidifiers from big box stores are simply not rated for crawl spaces. Call Brazier's. Our friendly staff will inspect and test your system. That old sump pump, replaced, including a necessary alarm. And now a dehumidifier that actually handles the job. Call Brazier's today and get your crawl space updated by the experts.
When it's your home, we know you always want the best. And if it's unique, stylish, and custom made, Superior Screen and Glass is your place. We are dedicated to providing the highest quality craftsmanship to our clients on every project. With our Pella and Anderson certified windows and doors, we will help highlight the beauty and function of your home with energy efficient, protective glass. To make your business or home superior and beautiful, trust the experience and expertise of Superior Screen and Glass.
Construction workers are building a new police station for the Millsboro Police Department. The new building is on Railroad Avenue Extended and Ellis Street. The department says it cost $7 million of town and state funding to build. CoastTV News reporter Britt Leone takes us to Millsboro to learn how the department plans to use the new building to achieve its goals for the future to come.
A bulldozer picks up another pile of dirt to curb a parking lot outside a new police station in Millsboro.
Right now, the structure of the building is done.
Chief of Millsboro Police Brian Calloway says this is a long time coming.
This process started in 2017 with a plan and a piece of paper.
This new building is about 13,000 square feet, more than double the size of the current station. The current building was a post office, and Chief Calloway says it was never designed to be a police station. Calloway says the new building will provide more space for positions that are all hands on deck.
You may be one day the traffic guy that goes out and has to enforce speeding tickets, but then the next day you may be the guy that's the counselor to that small child that doesn't want to go to school that day. That is important.
Calloway says the building will have separate offices for different departments, a private office for its victim services advocate, larger officer quarters, and more cells.
One of the additions Calloway is most excited about is this training facility room. It's going to be open for local organizations to book and host meetings for the public. Calloway also says it'll help the police department get to know the community better and meet its long-term goals.
Calloway believes this building will help recruit new officers and serve the growing community.
Years ago, when I started, people looked at Millsboro as only a stepping stone. Well, I hope this building is people look for a career.
Planting the seeds for those with a passion to protect and serve.
Chief Calloway says he's hopeful that his team will move into the new building on January 1st of 2024. He's also optimistic that this new station will spark interest for people interested in joining the police force to apply and help serve the community of Millsboro. In Millsboro, I'm Britt Leone, CoastTV News.
Chief Calloway says the new station will also have a basketball court donated by the town. New at 11, we are learning more about the history of Delaware State Police Troop 5. The agency released this timeline and facts today. It all began with the need for a Western Sussex location back in 1926. A temporary Troop 5 was established in Seaford. Then between 1937 and 38, a new brick building was designed to accommodate the growing force. In the 1940s, Station 5 temporarily closed when members of the department were drafted during World War II. Troop 5 was expanded to create additional space for troopers in April 1961. Then in 1990, a truck veered off the roadway and demolished the south side of Troop 5, which required renovations. In 2005, Troop 5 relocated from north of Bridgeville to a newly renovated visitor center on 5 acres of land just south of Bridgeville along US 13.
The Delmarva Sports Network from the Wawa Studios.
Good evening, sports fans. It's win or go home for plenty of Bayside and Henlopen teams this week, and we want to get you ready for the matchups ahead of us. To field hockey in Delaware, Cape takes on Milford in the Division I state semifinals tomorrow. Cape has 15 wins and 1 loss this season. The Vikings fell to Smyrna by 1 goal back in September. Since then, they've gone on a 12-game winning streak, including a 6-2 victory over Milford on September 28th. Last game, Cape topped Odessa 12-0 in the first round of the playoffs. As for their opponent, Milford Field Hockey is coming off a thrilling 3-2 first-round playoff win over Polytech. Last year, the Buccaneers fell to Cape in the state quarterfinal. Now Milford is on an 8-game winning streak and is 14-2 overall. The Buccaneers attack is led by first-team All-State returners Hannah Zimmerman and Bailey Madsen. The winner of this game will play the winner of the other semifinal, Smyrna versus Charter School of Wilmington, in the D1 Field Hockey State Championship at the University of Delaware on Saturday. Now to a Shore standout being honored for her impact at the next level. An NCAA Division I field hockey former Del Mar star and current University of Maryland freshman Josie Holloman was named to the Big Ten All-Tournament team Sunday. Holloman made key stops on defensive penalty corners, and Maryland only gave up 2 goals in 3 games. Maryland fell to number 1 Northwestern in double OT in the Big Ten Championship. The Terps earned a number 4 seed in the NCAA tournament and will host the first and second rounds. Maryland will face Old Dominion in the Sweet 16 Friday. And tune in to the Delmarva Sports Network tomorrow for our game of the night. Del Mar boys soccer facing Tower Hill in round 1 of the D2 state playoffs in Delaware. That'll do it for sports. Have a great night.
It is time to take another look at our Coast TV poll. We asked, will Biden be reelected? Taking a look at the screen, 46% for yes, 53% for no, 1% say it's too early to tell. If you haven't voted yet, you still can at coasttvnews.com or on our mobile app. War at the Shore. Who's mixing up cocktails that will be judged this weekend at one local restaurant and how you can attend? Stay tuned on Coast TV News at 11.
New episodes of Found, Tuesday on NBC and streaming on Peacock.
Hardee's newest handcrafted recipe? Candied bacon, coated with caramelized brown sugar and a hint of pepper to add a whole new level of goodness to breakfast, lunch, dinner, or anytime. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Your dirty vents may be telling you something. Pounds of dirt, dust, and contaminants are trapped in your air ducts. That's why you need a professional air duct cleaning from Stanley Steamer. We've been cleaning air ducts the right way for over 25 years. Our NADCA-certified technicians and powerful equipment clean your entire system, extracting the dirt into our trucks, removing it from your home completely. For better indoor air quality and improved HVAC efficiency,
call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer gets your home cleaner.
When was the last time you fell in love? At Chic at the Beach, fall in love with something new every visit. Find top designers right here at the beach with an array of pre-owned items from Hermes, Louis Vuitton, Chanel, Saint Laurent, Gucci, Prada, and David Yurman. Plus, small leather goods, the perfect gifts for the perfect someone. Our selection of designer brands is fully authenticated by a third party, so you can shop with confidence. Need a gift? We ship. Don't forget, tax-free shopping, perfect for the holidays.
Coastal Delmarva has so much going on.
Food, friends, fun, and more.
Why don't we just show you?
Coast Life, weekdays at 4 on Coast TV.
At Your Dachshund, we know that having healthy employees means improved quality of life and increased productivity. Your Dachshund Occupational Health Services offers comprehensive physicals and testing for all people in all industries. There are 6 convenient locations around Delmarva. House calls may be scheduled. Learn more at yourdachshund.com. Named Best Urgent Care on the Shore, Your Dachshund. Feel better, faster. Your Dachshund, in partnership with Tidal Health.
Fill your week with Wheel.
It's Sweethearts Week.
It's Teachers Week.
Teen Week.
Margaritaville.
Tuesday at 7 on Coast TV.
You asked. Hardee's listened. Welcome home, Cinnamon Raisin Biscuit. The cinnamon icing drizzle goodness is back for the holidays. Hardee's, goodness in the making.
Local artists and local mixologists are teaming up for a War at the Shore. The 6th annual Sagamore Spirit Cocktail Contest is free to watch this Sunday, November 12th at Bethany Blues in Lewis. Organizers say each team will collaborate on a theme. Artwork created by participating artists will raise money to support the artists, their materials, and their continued success. Also on Sunday, Southern Delaware Therapeutic Riding is bringing 60 artists, craftspeople, local businesses, and a new farmers market all to its Milton facility on Harbison Road. The holiday market runs from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Admission is $5. The event raises money for the nonprofit's herd as well as its riders.
Let's take a look at our winner for tonight. It's Janie Wells of Milton. Congratulations, courtesy of Paul Davis Restoration and Home Remodeling. Here's a look at your exclusive Coast TV 10-day forecast. 75 for Tuesday, then only 61, then up to 76, then only 55 with rain. But then here's where it really gets tricky. Saturday and Sunday. Look, Saturday going into Sunday, we dropped to 38, and we dropped to 35. Sunday going into Monday, and we stay in the 30s after that.
Thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News at 11. For more news and local weather, download the Coast TV News app. The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon is up next. We'll see you tomorrow for Coast TV News at 5 a.m. Have a great night.